Good morning. We are on, for Iona, well and for me to a bit, a magical mystery tour, aren't we, Iona?
Yeah.
Where are we going?
I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah. So far, all you know is we've gotten a train from Tile Hill in Coventry and are heading north.
Yeah, that's basically all I know. And that I've been there.
You have been to this place we're going to begin with, yeah? Where the next train we catch is going. So we're going to New Street first of all, and then we're catching another train from there. We're off to go cycle touring, bit of parkrun, bit of adventuring, bit of camping, isn't it, Iona?
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to it?
Wild camping, most likely.
A bit of wild camping maybe, which would be your first time wild camping, won't it? Are you excited? Are you a bit nervous? Is this going to be a big adventure?
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Well, we'll keep you up to date with when Iona guesses where it is. What's your guess so far?
Somewhere in Liverpool.
We've arrived at New Street. Iona, have you guessed it yet?
No.
Are you getting slightly wound up? Am I teasing you?
And he's making me not look at the ticket.
Yeah, when I pick up the ticket, you're not allowed to look. Right, need to get the lift up and change platforms, don't we?
Yeah.
And pick up the tickets. Started collecting the tickets, and Iona forgot to close her eyes. What have you seen, Iona?
Manchester, Piccadilly.
So we now know where the train is going to. You still don't know what you're doing after that, though, do you?
No.
So a bit more of the route is revealed to Iona. Are you excited about going to Manchester?
I like Manchester.
You like Manchester? Cool. Right, grab those tickets and let's go. So we have made it to the first destination of Iona's magical mystery tour. Where have you got to, Iona?
Manchester, Piccadilly.
Well,
Oh,
Manchester
this is
Piccadilly is the station.
Yeah.
Manchester's the city, isn't it?
So I roughly know where I am now.
You know where you are? Do you know where you're going?
No. We found a campsite there instead of wild camping.
Yeah, I threatened Iona with wild camping, and you weren't too sure about that, were you? But you're okay. We have a campsite,
But does that have toilets?
and it has toilets. So we're getting out some lunch. We've just bought ourselves some lunch from Sainsbury's at the station, enjoying that in the park here in Manchester, and then I better plot a route to find us to our campsite.
And I've got pasta, even though I'm going to be having pasta for tea.
Yeah, Aldi pasta time, isn't it? Right, let's go and enjoy our lunch. Well, of course, it wouldn't be an Iona cycle tour if we didn't have to stop and examine the playgrounds and give the equipment a bit of a tryout. We'll get going on our ride eventually. And we are off. Cycle ride, cycle tour, whatever you want to call it. Exploration, magical mystery tour is properly underway. Eating our lunch, and I've got a route plotted to the campsite for tonight. Just a little 15-mile ride to do between here and there. All clear now? Making our way out of Manchester, we're now on Route 62 of the National Cycle Network and following the Greater Manchester Ringway. Don't know what that is, but we're following it. We saw a sign for it. It's a little gravel trail by the side of the tram lines. Quite pleasant, traffic-free route out of the city. Iona is applying the sweet every 5-mile rule when cycling, are you, Iona? Mm-hmm. What Haribo are you going for? Nice wiggly worm.
Which is a carrot.
We've had a really good cycle route alongside the A road that we've been following out of Manchester towards our campsite for tonight. We've not had to do much proper road riding at all for our whole cycle ride. Been really good. We are just on the last leg towards the campsite now, and having done a little section along a busy main road where we actually pushed our bikes on the pavement, we've turned onto this beautiful old railway, surrounded by trees. It's lovely. Well, the first day of cycle touring is over. A nice steady start, wasn't it, Iona, out of Manchester? Mostly on cycle paths out to Manchester and along some old railway lines and all that sort of thing, wasn't it? Very nice cycling. And now, tent is pitched, you'll notice, back to my dinky tent, aren't we? As opposed to the bigger tent that I cycle toured with Ewan in. But the two of us can fit in this one, can't we?
I've got the hiccups.
And you've got the hiccups. It's like little jerks. Hiccups. And we have got the Trangia Brewing cooking us some, guess what? It's Aldi pasta!
I had Sainsbury's pasta earlier. Now I'm having Aldi pasta.
And I have practically lived on Aldi pasta for the last couple of weeks. What with Ewan and now you. Mm-hmm. But it's all right. And then we have discovered there is a pub less than half a mile walk away. So we are going to treat ourselves to a pudding at the pub, aren't we?
Probably.
Does that sound like a good plan?
I said if the reward is pudding, then I'm doing it.
If there's a reward of pudding at the end of the walk.
Or something that I like.
You can cope with that, can you? Sounds good. Right, let's hope this water boils quickly and gets our pasta cooking nicely. You are hungry now, are you? Cool. So having enjoyed our pasta from Aldi, with the addition, of course, of a bit of pepperoni sausage, we're just going to head to the pub and find a pudding, aren't we, Iona? A lovely little walk along the canal. Well, we're tucked up in our cosy little tent, aren't we, Iona? Yeah. It's definitely cosy in here for the two of us, isn't it? You're sleeping by my stinky feet.
Yeah. I'll probably face that way.
So, what do you reckon to the tea? It was a very crunchy cookie dough, wasn't it, that we enjoyed there?
Yeah, I thought dough is meant to be squishy.
Yeah, sort of soft, but that wasn't. That was like a proper hard cookie, wasn't it? But it was nice and warm and tasty, and I enjoyed a glass of red wine as well. Time to bunk down, ready for an early start for the 2 miles uphill to the parkrun we've got to get up to. And then it's a hilly start for the parkrun as well. Your legs had better be ready.
They're not right now.
Better get some sleep then, haven't we? Night night. Good morning, Iona. How are you doing? We've had a comfortable night's sleep in the tent. Woken this morning by the sounds of birds hopping around and chirping and sheep baaing and all sorts of countryside noises. Brewed up my morning brew. You've just been getting yourself ready for parkrun. We're off now for a 2 mile uphill cycle ride to get to our parkrun destination, which you still don't know where it is. You just know it's 2 miles away. Any ideas? Have you looked on a map or anything like that? We'll see you at the mystery parkrun destination.
Hang about. I haven't done my makeup. Right, well, my name's Stephen Davis, and it's my privilege to welcome you to Lyme Park parkrun, which I can tell you with authority, because I have done 6 others, that this is the best in the country. This is described as an undulating course in the literature. This is a line. This is a hilly course.
We have made it to the start of the parkrun just in time, didn't we, Iona?
And I know what it is.
You now know where you are, don't you?
Yeah, I knew it before we even
Yeah, you checked out the 5k app and said, oh, what's nearby? Oh, it'll be that parkrun, which is where?
Lyme Park.
Yep, so we're at Lyme Park this morning, and we've just had our first timers briefing where he corrected us on it is not undulating, it is definitively hilly, and with things like sort of tumble corner and there's all sorts of nasty sounding names on the course for bits of the course, aren't there? So it could be a challenging course. And it was a challenging ride here, wasn't it, Iona? Google Maps took us up an interesting route, which was more four-wheel drive track than road, wasn't it?
You mean we mainly walked here?
Yeah, we did a fair bit of walking, pushing the bikes, because it was also mostly uphill, as is the first kilometre of the parkrun. And we're just walking to the start now, so we'll see how we get on, shall we, Iona?
Right, good morning everyone. Welcome to Parkrun. If we can just, Parkrun Lyme Park, if we can just start by giving our volunteers a round of applause. Time, are you ready? Okay, so after 3. 1, 2, 3, go!
Well, parkrun has started, and you do start by going straight uphill, up a nice rough trail underfoot to get those legs working as you start your Saturday. In front of us is a buggy runner who I'm majorly impressed by to try buggy running up this.
Not running very fast today.
Well, it may be uphill, maybe rough underfoot, maybe fairly wild about, but you are rewarded by some fairly epic views here. Looking back over towards Manchester. Wow. We're now up into the woods, and actually can hear my voice echoing in the space of the trees. And somebody's been up here doing some pretty epic den building as well. Just look at this. Now that's what I call a woodland shelter. Oh, what a beautiful woodland. Through the gap in the tree you can see the house of Lyme Park and a folly far out on the hillside over there as well. Look at this impressive stone wall out in the wild on the hill, but marking the edge of the estate. Got this lovely stone wall. Sorry, a bit geeky about things like that. Come on, a bit of jogging. We're flying, it's downhill time. The plane is expecting turbulence. It's rather rough underfoot just here. We are up into the moors here on the edge of this route. This is certainly a very different parkrun from your city centre parks with their manicured lawns and neat flower beds. Here, we're out on a proper trail run. Absolutely gorgeous. I love something like this. I'm definitely in my element here. Good training for Snowdonia Marathon in just over a month or so's time. Well, this route is definitely more of a trail shoe route. You probably could run it in road shoes, but you'd be a lot better off in trail shoes. It is really rough underfoot in places and quite rocky. It's great. Really good fun. We've got the moors on one side of us, the woodland on the other, and in front I can see the pink glow of a volunteer vest. 1 mile completed, 1 Haribo eaten. Time to keep going. Iona had a little bump on her with her bike, wasn't it? Not on her bike, but with her bike, when she was. Were you trying to manoeuvre it, weren't you, at the time? And it sort of, you fell on it, or it fell on you? Both. And you've got a little cut and bruise on your leg from it, haven't you?
So the bruise is like underneath, and then there's 2 little scratch marks, like stabs.
So what do you think it looks like?
A pig. So I'm calling it my
So
pig.
your pig snout bruise.
Yeah.
Cool. And she's found that this rough uneven surface
Does not help.
does not
Because it keeps on going up, down, up,
Yeah, a bit uneven on the snout, isn't it? We're back into the estate area, and ahead of us we see a peak vest of another volunteer telling us the right way to go. Some of the buildings of the estate at the side, and we're turning right.
I'm Alan.
Hi Alan.
Been here for 300 odd weeks. Well done.
Cheers. Up ahead of us now I can see a mound and the views are opening up. I think we are heading towards the cage. We were told about this in the briefing. Apparently this is where the ladies would go to watch the men out, being very manly of course, hunting down the deer. Wow, the view and the landscape up here is beautiful, isn't it, Iona?
Yeah.
It's a bit different from the sort of...
I can't see trees.
No? So the last park run you did, because you've had a couple of weeks break when I've been off cycle touring with you, haven't you? The last park run you did was at a country estate, but not quite like this one, was it? It was at the seaside, running along the cliffs. Today, we're running up in the hills. We're looking out over into the Peak District hills. Somewhere out there will be the Pennines as well. It's a really hilly ridge from one side of England to the other. I quite fancy, I haven't actually done the coast to coast yet. It's one of those things I do need to get and both cycle, and you can actually do the coast to coast run as well. That's quite an ultra to do in a weekend. But up ahead, we have the cage. Apparently where they keep the volunteers from one week to the next to make sure they don't escape. Imagine the work to bring all the building materials and everything up here for building this. But what a fantastic view for them to enjoy when they were here. Absolutely fabulous.
Where are you from?
Coventry.
Right, okay, yeah.
So a bit different landscape.
Bit different landscape. No, it's great to be here, isn't it?
So where are we going from here?
Sorry, straight on down.
There, is it?
You'll come to another marsh before you turn.
Over there we have the city of Manchester spread out. A bit hazy in the distance, it's not that clear this morning. And over that way we've got what looks like a reservoir, but it's rather empty, not much water in it. And the route is running down the hill ahead of us. You can just see a couple of runners in the distance. On our way down from the cage, Iona's watch has just beeped to tell her it's 2 miles. I think she wants another Haribo.
Oh, I've got the one that has two stuck together.
Go on.
Can I have both? Yeah.
We were just starting to think we're going a long, long way away from the house, and at some point we need to be heading back towards the house as we've already done 2 miles. And then we just spotted some park runners down there who are on their way back towards it. So that must mean the turnaround point is just down here somewhere. Well, we've reached the turnaround point. Iona's turned around, thank you very much. Heading back towards the house now, and it's back up some hill. What do you think? Course description undulating, or the first timer's briefing of hilly?
Hilly.
Definitely hilly, isn't it?
Yeah.
But beautiful.
Yeah.
This will be a fantastic cross-country preparation route. If you live around here, and doing this parkrun regularly, you would be a storming cross-country runner. Amazing estate. Be really good for wide games here as well. This section here is sort of really hilly, lumpy and so on. It'd be fantastic for some of those hide and seek, capture the flag type games, I think. You're running along and all of a sudden the finish appears. You can see the backdrop of the house in the background, but we're just in the wild of the estate still a bit, and just a field. And there's the finish. Off you go then, Iona.
Yours number first. Let's see, there we go, that's it. And then the little number 1, 2, 2. That's it. Lovely, thanks.
We've completed the parkrun. What's next on the agenda, Iona?
Toilet.
And then breakfast. We're just walking back to the mill. What's it called? The sawmill or something, isn't it, Iona? Timber yard, that's it. Yeah, oh yes. There's a sign just there telling me. And the house just over there. Post parkrun, what's next? You did your toilet stop, didn't you? And then it was breakfast time. We came to the little National Trust breakfast place, didn't we? What do you eat for breakfast, Az?
5.
I had a very tasty egg and bacon wrap, and you had
Egg and ketchup.
egg and ketchup. Plenty of ketchup. Could you taste the egg with all the ketchup that was on there?
Because they're all the yolk that exploded.
The cafe is actually in the old timber yard where they would have made and looked after also the wood that would have been got from the estate and made things out of some of the timber for the house and everything as well. So you can see some of the old tools hung up around the cafe. A lovely space as well. Right, is it time to go and explore the big house?
Yes, but I think first we should scan in and things.
Scan in. Take our membership card, you mean?
Yeah.
I think we have to in order to get into the house itself.
Yeah.
Right, let's head off then. Iona, what have you just got the chance to do in the house?
Dress up.
You're dressed up as the lady of the house now, are you? You're looking very pretty, aren't you? Do you feel very at home now in the Regency costume? Can you imagine wearing that day in, day out? You don't fancy that?
Then next to there you have a bath, no toilet for some reason.
We've enjoyed our tour of the house and are now enjoying an essential bit of cake at the National Trust property. It has to be done. We have had a great time exploring the house. Iona in particular has had good fun dressing up in some traditional costumes and parading around the halls and building her own little version of the house. And of course we had to have some time for a cake in the cafe there. Now we're exploring the gardens. They've got some amazing gardens here as well. You could really show that the family who lived here for over 600 years really liked showing off just how wealthy they were. They made their wealth from the mining in the area and from the timber in the area. So plenty of wealth, and they wanted to make sure everybody knew about it. So we have just been exploring the gardens. How many photos have you taken, Iona?
Too many.
Too many. You filled up your memory on your phone, haven't you, with your photos? So many beautiful flowers, weren't there? And a lovely orange route you can just see behind us as well to explore. So we've had a beautiful time exploring the gardens. What do you got in mind next, Iona?
Playground.
It's playground time. Enough taking photos of flowers. It's time to play, is it?
Yeah.
Right, I think that's that way. Let's go.
That way.
Well, we were told there was a good playground here. We've spent a bit of time on it. Iona, what's your view?
4.5.
4.5. So what does it lose half a mark for?
There's like a little obstacle course, and there's one of those original things where it's like a chain, and then there's like wood across it. So and you have to get across it. They're a bit far apart.
So just that's a bit far apart. But other than that,
Yeah.
what's been good here?
this.
climbing rope thing.
Yeah, the bit behind us, like
Yeah.
the little ramping things, the tunnels, and then, yeah,
Good playground.
and the,
Twirly thing.
yeah,
I don't know what better name for it. What should we do next? Is it time to start thinking about heading home? Or back to the campsite?
yeah.
Time to head back to the campsite then. We have made our way into Poynton, haven't we, Iona, for a little explore.
Mainly to go to Aldi.
To go to Aldi, get ourselves some cake to have with our tea tonight, and we decided to treat ourselves to a Greg sausage roll. Oh yes. It's time for tea. Guess what? It's Aldi pasta time. Which one have we gone for tonight?
Mushroom.
Yeah, and I bought myself a big beef tomato to chop up.
Why is it called a beef tomato?
I don't know,
It's
these
not
big tomatoes like this are called beef tomatoes. Don't know, no beef in them, just tomato. So chop that up in with it as well. And we've treated ourselves to some jam tarts for afterwards, haven't we? We are living the high life.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, what are we going to do, Iona? Cycle somewhere. No idea where.
And you don't even know where.
Haven't really got much idea, but we'll head out and see what we do. Have fun. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. So, having enjoyed our tea, we're right by the canal where we're camping. And so, what better way to gently let your tea go down than to go for a little stroll by the canal and enjoy the evening sunshine. It's night time. We've had a lovely chat with some of the other people on the campsite.
We've now got neighbours, but not for long.
No, and we had a lovely little walk along the canal earlier as well. And now it's time to tuck ourselves up in our sleeping bags and get some sleep, ready for whatever tomorrow might bring. We're not quite sure at this stage, are we, Iona?
What life brings other than going south.
Yeah, we're going to be heading south. But more than that, we don't really know, do we? We'll see how the day begins and see how the day progresses. Night, night. Morning, just enjoying my morning brew and contemplating the day. We're just going to go with serendipity today. No particular definitive plans on where we're going to ride, how far we're going to ride, where we're going to stop, little details like that. We're going to start by heading south along the old railway line that there is just by the campsite, which is just now a cycleway, which is how we got here in the first place, so we thought we'd carry on along that for a bit, and then we'll just see how the day takes us. But first coffee, and then the tent strike. We're on our way on the Middlewood Way, which is the old train line, and as you can see, we're actually starting off in an old station. We're actually riding along what would have been the platform. Obviously strictly forbidden, which it's an actual station, but for this, it's perfectly allowed. And the middle where the train tracks used to run is now a picnic area. So, lovely place to start, and we're just heading out along the lovely flat route that is the Middlewood Way. The Middlewood Way is actually the old Marple, Bollington, Macclesfield railway line, and we're just about to cycle over the viaduct, which is near Bollington. It's a beautiful railway line. It was originally opened in 1800 and something, closed again in the 1900s, and was reopened as a cycleway and sort of general leisure route in the 1980s. So, been around for a little while. It's a really nice route. The viaduct we're about to cycle across is going to be demolished, but local campaigned to make sure it was saved, and we're very glad they are, because it's always fun cycling across these sort of things and the views you get. The Ionas find a slight problem. The walls are a touch too high for her, aren't they, Iona, to be able to see over. A bit more of our magical mystery tour, which I've been keeping secret from her. What are you going to go and visit next?
Holly!
Holly the cafe boat, we're just by.
I've just realised where they might be.
How are you guys?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So we've just done the first 4 miles of our ride, and what did I surprise you with?
Holly!
What have you had?
Ginger cake.
Was it
with
tasty?
icing.
Tasty? Does that re-energise you for a bit more cycling?
Yeah, I want to stay here for a bit longer.
You want to stay here for a bit longer and enjoy the Holly cafe boat scene, do you? Have a bit more of a chat. Well, we suitably refuelled and refreshed at Bollington Wharf at Holly the cafe boat. And just for your information as well, if you're cycling in the area, there's a little bike maintenance workshop there as well, so you can get your bikes fixed. We enjoyed a rather delicious piece of ginger cake, and we might, just might, have bought a piece of cake to go as well, haven't we, Iona? But we're back onto the Middlewood Way, cruising along on our way south. Next stop, Macclesfield, I think. We're cycling our way through Macclesfield now on the Middlewood Way. It's been a really good cycle route, so many miles of traffic-free cycling, and nice and flat too, mostly. We're joining the canal just up here. Iona's breathing a sigh of relief. What does that mean, Iona?
Flatness most of the time.
Yeah, Iona likes a bit of flat terrain. Just spotted this stack of big timbers here, and I was thinking, what on earth are they here for? They're all with handles on, so obviously for lifting up and doing something with. Then realised the bridge over here by the side of it has got a groove, so if they need to shut off a section of the canal to do some maintenance or something like that, they just drop all of those into that groove, block off the canal, create a little dam, and they can drain it out the other side, either this side or that side, I don't know which. But yeah, worked it out. We've just stopped to admire what looks like a pretty impressive mountain biking and pump tracky type thing. That is impressive, built into the bankside of the canal. Up for it, Iona?
No.
You're not going to give it a go? No. Problem is, we're the wrong side of the canal anyway. We can't jump over there, can we? Just navigated one of the things that's quite famous on this stretch of canal, this swirl up to get up and over a bridge and then swirl down the other side. I think we've got a couple of these to go round. Bit tricky on the bike though, with some steps involved. So we've just been enjoying a steady pootle along the canal towpath, haven't we, Iona? It's been lovely. Nice and traffic free for mile after mile. Though a little bit bumpy in places.
Yeah.
Has your bottom been feeling the bumps?
Not really.
Not too bad. Good. But we were getting a little weary in your case, weren't we? Are you ready for a stop? And it was going to be quite a lot more cycling to do. And then we discovered the trains aren't running from Stoke-on-Trent like we'd planned. They're running a bus replacement service, which aren't very bike friendly, are they?
But I think they should be.
They should be, shouldn't they?
Because you're allowed to put your bike on the train, and if you can't get a train...
They ought to put them on the bus.
Yeah.
But hey ho, But fortunately, did a quick Google when we stopped for a snack, and we found a campsite just over a couple of miles away. And they had a space for us, they could squeeze us in. So has that made you happy? So we're leaving the canal behind us and heading off down a country lane, which means, Iona, there may be 1 or 2 hills involved now.
1 or 2?
Yeah, who knows? Because
Hopefully
it's
no.
no longer the nice flat canal towpath.
Hopefully not.
Well, we weren't wrong about the potential of hills as soon as we came off the canal. Straight up. Well, straight down and then straight up again. So it's got the blood pumping a bit more than cruising along the canal towpath. Well, it has been one non-stop climb since we left the canal. I'm doing the old bike shuffle, which is cycle up with mine, run back down the hill, push Ionas or cycle Ionas up the hill and swap backwards and forwards. But just look at these views. Amazing views from up here. Wow. As if cycling up a long climb wasn't enough to make it challenging at the end of our day's riding, we've also got a howling headwind, which is making life tough, isn't it, Iona? She's gritting her teeth and going for it. She's a tough cookie. This is the site. Well, we have made it to the campsite, Iona. We've got our space, haven't we? It's a bit blowy up here, isn't it?
We had to get one of the cars.
Had to get the car moved, didn't we? And the tents sort of getting slightly battered by the wind up here. So we've got the interesting challenge now of pitching my tent, haven't I?
Do I need to help?
You don't need to help. You can just sit there and chill. You're a bit tired because we have climbed from the canal to here. That has been one big climb, hasn't it, to finish the day's riding with? But what a fabulous view from this campsite. But you know what? I'm going to get and pitch this tent quick because those clouds over there look very black. Tent is pitched, just chilling out this evening. Of course, I am cooking our favourite meal. Yep, it's aldi pasta. This time, 3 cheese version, with the addition of some pepperoni chopped up in it as well. No additional extras tonight. But we have got a cake that we bought to enjoy afterwards from Holly the Cafe boat. So that's a bit of a treat for pudding afterwards. It's lovely sitting here, just looking out at the hills from our campsite. It might have been a bit of a tough climb up here, but as the sun is starting to drop this evening, you couldn't ask for a better spot to sit and enjoy the view and the light playing over it. It is pretty nice. While the pasta's cooking, I'm just going to sit here and enjoy the view. We've just enjoyed our tea, haven't we, Iona? Yeah. And you're trying to stay snuggled up in the tent because it's a little bit breezy out here, isn't it? Definitely a chilly evening. I think we'll definitely need to snuggle up in our sleeping bags tonight. Time to treat ourselves to some cake. And what else are we going to have? Going to make ourselves a hot chocolate, a nice hot warming chocolate. I've even got some marshmallows to sprinkle on the top.
Are you going to have one?
I might have a few marshmallows as well. And I'm going to add a bit of decaf coffee to mine to make a mocha for me. Are you going to snuggle and enjoy that in the tent when I've brewed it? I think I might join you in there. It'd be a bit warmer. Oh, but what a beautiful place, isn't it? The views, not that you've seen much of them because you stayed mostly in there, but
I have seen it when we came on the...
yeah. Tomorrow, we're going to carry on cycling south.
At least we know where we're going this time.
But we do actually know what we're doing now. We're going to head towards Stafford and where we can hopefully catch a train that will wend its way back to Coventry for us.
We're not exactly.
Hot chocolates up, Iona. So we've both got our hot chocolates now, snuggled up inside the tent out of the breeze to keep warm and about to tuck into some cake, aren't we? What was it? Almond and
Raspberry?
Almond and raspberry cake. Sounds lush. Good morning. The sun is shining, Iona. And you know where you're going today?
Hey.
Today we just have the longest ride of the weekend. 27 miles to get from here to Stafford, where hopefully we can catch a train to catch us back to Coventry. Now what did Grandma and Grandad suggest?
Just ride home.
Cycling the 63 miles home. You weren't too impressed with that idea, were you?
Ewan yet.
You're not Ewan yet. You're not quite up to those distances yet. But first, morning brew is done. Sit here and enjoy the amazing views that there are here over the misty hills at the moment as the sun is rising. We are on our way, just appreciating the fabulous views as we leave the campsite and heading into Mow. We've arrived at Mowcop Castle, which is just a short little ride. When I say ride, it was right at the top of the very top of the hill, so we have actually mostly pushed our bikes up the last little bit to get up to this castle, and now there's a bit of a craggy path to climb our way. It's actually a folly, it's not a real castle. It was built here just to look good, basically. There's a bit of a visual statement on the hill. Well, it may be a bit of a climb up here, but the views are certainly impressive from the top. Look at that, Iona. Descended back from the castle into Mowcop, and now we're back on the actual route, heading down to Stafford. And down at the moment is the operative word. Well, we've done a load of descending, haven't we, Iona? Have you enjoyed all that downhill? It has been mostly downhill from Mowcop, just a couple of little blips in between, but mostly spin wheeling. But we've now left the road and we've joined the Scotia Valley Greenway, which is NCN 5, National Cycle Network. What do you like about this, Iona? Yeah, a bit of flat cycling for a while. I'm assuming it's probably another old railway. Most of these do seem to be, don't they? So, time to get pedalling and keep heading south. Five miles ridden so far this morning, which means, what is it, Iona?
Sweetie.
It's sweetie time. We've just stepped off at Westport Lake Visitor Centre. There's a lovely little lake here, but now what are we about to do, Iona?
Join the canal.
Does that make you happy? Why do you like canals?
Yeah.
They're flat.
Other than when there's bridges.
Other than when there's bridges or locks. I love the old industrial buildings you get by the canals in places like this. This one's definitely seen better days, but you can tell it would have been one of the clay pottery kilns and so on just here. You can tell from the shape of that cone-shaped building just there. The only challenge with canal cycling is the occasional bridge, which normally have fairly steep and sometimes stepped ways up and over them. We've got one of those. We're out of the urban sprawl of Stoke-on-Trent, passing through a rural landscape at the moment on the canals. The industrial buildings at the side of us has gone to be replaced by fields. We're heading for Stone for lunch. We stopped there when we came through this way before, and we do remember just having a rather fabulous lunch, so we're hoping we get that again. So we made it to Stone, didn't we, Iona? Are your legs starting to feel a little weary?
Just tired generally.
Just tired generally. You're looking forward to getting home in your bed, are you? But we made it here. We've just got about 10 miles left to go to get to Stafford, where we can catch a train from. We were going to be disappointed our cafe was closed that we were going to go to, wasn't it, Iona? So I wasn't able to have my lemon curd on a scone again, but we did find a very nice cafe in Bear. And I like their Instagram handle. It's Be More Bear. Can you be more bear?
Not today.
Not today. You've got no growling left in you. Can you still...
I can do one growl.
Go on then. Are you cuddly though, like a bear? Still got cuddles. Right.
I'm a little baby cub.
Let's get on with the 10 miles to Stafford. We're coming out of Stone. We found a playground, didn't we? And I think you just found the first perfect place to chill out, have you? Are you relaxing from your ride? Recovering those aching muscles. What do you reckon to the playground?
Good.
What's been best about it?
The slide's quite good. That rock climbing thing is really good. It's just very awkward to get down again.
So what do you give this as a rating?
Probably a 5.
A 5 out of 5 playground. Definitely a good playground. It looks pretty brand new as well, doesn't it? Cool. Couple more minutes and then we're going to get riding again. Are you going to be relaxing or are you going to do some playing? Zip wire?
Yep.
Well, it's a rather busy route out of Stone. It is a cycleway, but right alongside a dual lane, dual carriageway. So, got cars dashing past us on our right. But at least we're actually not having to cycle on the dual carriageway to get out of Stone. Oh, fortunately, we've now turned off that busy main road and onto some quiet back lanes again now. Iona's just hoping that quiet back lanes don't equal hills. And guess what we're about to join, Iona?
Isabel Trail!
Yay! It's well known as Iona's PB parkrun course. We have half a parkrun to go because we've joined the Isabel Trail at their turnaround point and heading back down as if you're doing the return leg of the parkrun here. And then we've just got a little section to do to get us back to the station. So Iona, what have been the best bits of the ride?
Maybe the canal tow paths because they were nice and flat. This because it's also nice and flat. And also this is just great memories because of my PB.
That's the end of the parkrun route. Just got to cycle back into town now. Just arriving at the station now. And the trains appear to be running because one's just come by. So that's a good sign. Our adventure is almost over, isn't it, Iona? Oh, are you a tired girl? Are you looking forward to getting home? We've made it back to Canley. Just a couple of miles to cycle home now, isn't it? So if you've enjoyed this little adventure, which has involved cycling, parkrunning and train travelling, and exploring National Trust properties as well. Another great little adventure. If you've enjoyed it, what do they need to do?
Like and subscribe with the post notification bell on.
And do check out this video from our last cycle tour together last year, which also involved, of course, a parkrun. See you on another adventure soon. Bye!